It's funny you always only call me as a chef. To be honest with you, I think chef artist is the appropriate word. I did edible art. It is art that is made of food. I realized that I've always kind of liked to push this boundary into the unknown. And that's the fun part about it. There's gonna be a lot of failures, yet I know when the success comes, it's gonna be sweet. Hello, welcome. Do you need any help with the menu?
During 2007, when we opened, Janice basically brought the wow factor in desserts at the time, where she combines art, flavors, and textures, and make these desserts available to the public.
Here we go. This is the cacao forest.
Amazing.
All the flavors of cherry, cacao, whiskey. The pot is made with cherry as well as Earl Grey bergamot. And what I'm pouring here is the cacao liqueur.
I feel like this is like performance art.
When I opened 2 AM dessert bar, there was no progressive dessert restaurants. Desserts out there were quite repetitive. Just really traditional classic, which is great. But I wanted to introduce art. I think art for me on a plate was something I could really express.
You usually find these sort of desserts in tasting menus or degustation menus of fine dining restaurants. So these were not typically what the general public go for.
The skepticism came from the media, and a lot of the questions were, oh, what is your goal for the next 5 years? How do you think this would be successful?
Clearly, we took notice when she opened 2 AM dessert bar, That in itself, is a very bold and a progressive move. Before that, she wasn't on anyone's radar, so to speak, and she's come a long way since then. Most people were inspired by a popular dessert and tried to put their own spin on it, where she was starting from scratch. Her no-reference approach to creating her desserts, that concept challenged the norm. If you look at her chocolate H2O, what was unique was the fact that she had 2 ingredients you would normally not think of putting together.
I wanted it to kind of be this huge mess, but when you bite into it, it's like air. So incorporating water for me was the one key thing. First recipe I created based on 50% chocolate and 50% water. It was endless amount of failures, and I knew it was going to collapse. With no stabilizer, for sure it's gonna just fall flat. I think it was about a month over. So basically, we created a dish, and that worked. It was so simple, but yet it celebrated flavor. I like defying things, and I think it's just so important to have that type of mentality where we can actually try to make things work. There's a huge part of our project that is dedicated to pure creativity, which is really just a lot of experimentation. We're very focused right now on toys and games. What if we make these toys and games edible? So this is the slime, right? What is it made of?
This is just cornstarch.
What I was trying to achieve is my childhood favorite toy, where I had this little straw and I put that little sticky thing at the end and blow it. And then I have that ball and I play with it. So just imagine if you can actually taste it. Sweets and toys and games and confectionaries, it's all about having fun. Look at this. I want a photo. Brilliant. This is so amazing. Don't you think so, Steph? It's so amazing. It's like a little baby. Not only that, I want to make this edible sugar balloon fly. Whoa! Why is it not flying? So when it touches helium, it turns into glass. We're developing all these new recipes. Even I don't know where I'm heading, but that's the beauty of creativity. I think I never even know where it's gonna take me, and I let it be very organic. Okay, you try the yo-yo. You try the yo-yo. The chocolate doesn't have a spring element to it. So we're able to throw it out, but not able to catch it back. So basically, if I were to bounce it back up, anyway. Oh my god. Okay. That's okay. It's okay. Replay. So again, a lot of failures from these experimental toys, they evolve and they become another product. So we develop a top spin. So I think the base is fine, but you need to make a weight here. That is the little baby step that we're taking for a very big project, a very big vision, and it is to launch the edible toys. The first round of the launch will be in National Museum of Singapore. Now, all these are made with 1,100 kilos of sugar and 200 kilos of chocolate. This edible installation, I name it basically the underwater labyrinth. I'm a diver. Basically, what I felt like doing was putting in a whole cascading wall of corals. The corals are made of isomalt. There's a type of sugar. Once it's boiled to 160 degrees, we pour it over ice, and it forms this really unique shape. Not very common for a pastry chef, I think, to be doing these type of techniques, but as an artist, I think I like to explore. My first edible art was done because it was the launch of my book. I needed to feed 400 people. So I started doing this marshmallow ceiling, you know. I made an isomalt coral sculpture that was 2 meters high. I really did it for fun. And now it's worldwide, you know. I mean, we're traveling around the world introducing this edible art. It's really quite crazy.
As a chef, she definitely steps out of her comfort zone. She's that kind of person.
Okay, we're gonna do a staff training. So can I get everybody here? Thank you. Let's do Kyoto Garden. So basically this dessert is really celebrating the Zen nature of Japan. I've always lived life very organically. When life takes a turn sometimes, you just go with that route instead of forcing yourself to go in that direction you thought that you were gonna go. And I thought I would do banking because I love numbers. I never knew that I would end up being a dessert chef. This is something that I saw myself when I was in Melbourne studying, and I had my first pick of these strawberries. You know, it's nothing like what I tasted in my childhood. It was earthy. It was just a completely different dimension. It was a kind of like a turning point where I felt like, oh, I wanted to be a curator of food.
I thought she would make cakes in future for her husband or for the family, you know. And why imagination? I never in my life expect her to be a chef.
And right away, I tell you, right away, without even any rest, I went straight to Paris and enrolled myself in pastry school. And that was just the one moment where I said, you know what, I am going to try and do this. I'm going to set my goals. I'm going to be focused. Although I have no experience, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take it on.
She did her basics, and then she spent the next 2 years working for free at all the top dessert restaurants. And then by then, she came back, 2AM was born.
My parents' reaction, I can never forget. Shocked.
And I still don't believe it. It's just going to be very hard, you know.
At the beginning, we didn't know what kind of customer flow we're going to get. Are people going to even come in?
I think when I saw people coming back, I knew it was going to be a success. The dessert bar is here.
About here. So this will be where the bar counter
Why
is.
have you stand there? Steve, you actually stand there.
Yeah?
Yeah. So actually, I'm serving you. I'm bringing it out to you.
Yes, correct.
Okay. But then actually, I come down every few days to really check on the progression of the new restaurant opening. As a food artist, the presence of being in the museum is just really appropriate. This is something that I envision to house all my art pieces. The painting will go 2.8 still. Basically, I want it very dynamic.
Okay.
In terms of just all the finishings and everything in place, about 80% more to be done. Basically, it runs out from here.
So this will be sink.
This is where the sink is. 6 bar seats here. I need to know this part here. So we're still on the timeline now.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we should have a luxury of at least 1.5 months more. But it's a really tight schedule. We are a bit far, but I mean, like I said, I have very good faith. It will be okay. Coffee machine, grinder,
Okay.
then cashier. So, this is the final round already. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna test everyone to make sure they all work. All these are approved. This one, we still need to shave this later. There were a couple that went this way. It's not easy to get the exact gradient to make the perfect top spin. And then at the base also it needs to have this little knob so that there is enough spin, you know, and this is a really good spin. This is really good to go already. This is perfect. We're actually packaging it right now and then we're ready to go. So the Janicewong Singapore flagship restaurant is not only focusing on confectionaries and sweets, and as well I'm launching a whole new cuisine, modern Chinese, focusing on flour. So right now these are all the noodle dishes. There are 4 noodle dishes for the flagship store at the National Museum. 这个是那个日本的粉是吗？
对，日本的粉，这里面都是日本的粉。
barley with basil. I would add in a couple of the herbs. I love Chinese food, yet I also love the Western cuisine. Can I merge the two? Can I introduce modern flavors in Chinese cuisine? We did so many testing, so many different looks of the noodles, the colors. How can we introduce a new element of surprise? Of course, doing savory is something I'm not extremely comfortable with. But then when it comes to noodles, this is also flour and water. It's not savory if you don't think of it as pork and beef and stuff. But I think that's the beauty of it, to again challenge yourself. We were supposed to be all done by today in terms of the space, but as you can see, they need a couple more days to finish up all the tables and installation. They got to continue working while we are working. So we're very used to doing very big pieces like this. This is going to go up on that wall over there. Basically what we have here is really just chocolate painted on wood, but we'll set it in resin. Of course, working in this type of condition is not the most perfect. I built my first restaurant at the age of 24. Definitely brought back memories of the past. There was a lot of trial and error. The first day of opening, it was our soft launch. And suddenly, the bulbs went off. I had to delay my opening by a month. Of course, it was very disheartening, but then again, it was never always so smooth sailing every day. Every single day, even up to now, there are problems every day. Yeah, you just need to solve it. He has to move it down for you, right?
To be honest, I've actually never seen Janice at breaking point. She remains calm. Until this day, she maintains that.
She will never come to us and wet her eyes. She will say, everything is fine, everything is under control.
When she wants to do something, she will go all out to do it. So that's my girl.
Smells nice. The first one with the recipe with the sugar and the helium, it makes it very, very brittle. So the moment you touch it, it completely becomes like confetti. This recipe, we introduced a little bit more sugar into it. I mean, we just really wanted to make it more expandable. It actually floats. It's just amazing what they have done. But again, it's not so accessible to everyone. It's a fine dining restaurant with a price tag of US $400 to dine there. And it's probably in the 20th course that you get this edible balloon. Nobody has ever done it where, for example, you pay $5, you get a balloon. Nobody has done that yet. Are we able to do that?
Hello, Marissa.
Oh my God.
Got it. Oh my God. That's what we want to make people do. We want to make people talk weird.
For me, I think we're almost at 90% already, but the last 10% of the testing will be in the environment itself. Surprise! What's today's the opening for the Janicewong Singapore restaurant. 45 minutes, we open the doors. I hope to welcome people in and really do a few test runs and see how we go. Yeah. Everybody put on a smile. Good service, everybody. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Congrats.
Oh, a lot of hard work. This is the crispy charcoal nest.
Wow.
We're introducing our modern Chinese cuisine. Yeah, it's quite a few pockets of elements of different concepts in one place, but this is Janicewong. It's not just only a restaurant. You know, this is really a showcase of our confectionaries, our toys, our games. This for me is very special.
Amazing. It's like the old school spinning top.
This is my playground.
It's a very simple game that two diners can engage in. In a sense, it's sort of like a chocolate tasting session where they try to train their palate to recognize the different flavors. It's fun, but it's educational at the same time.
Same mixture, same recipe. I think it's the humidity. It's too sticky. It's got too much moisture in, so the breaking point is quite high. I'm not disappointed. I think I'm okay. If you want to be successful, you want to make a change, you want to be different, there is no easy way. I felt like I needed these failures to understand food better. It was never really a very boring journey for me in the last 10 years. Greatest satisfaction, I think, is really seeing the happiness on people's faces. I think it's just so much joy, and I can feel it, and that gives me a lot of satisfaction. Yes, it's a sugar balloon. It's fun, huh?